that I want to make sure that we resource you all to be able to go out and be successful in this incredible election cycle that we're in. Because this election cycle will determine redistricting. This election cycle will determine the future and the legacy of the Lone Star State. You know, I was born and raised back over on the other side of Mississippi River in Georgia. I went to that other UT with the real orange. Hey, look. Welcome to the SEC. You finally came to. But before I really get started, two things, okay? Everyone, pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
There's only one flag in the United States of America that can fly at the same height as the American flag. And that's the flag in the great state of Texas. And the legacy that I carry on, coming from the University of Tennessee, where we call ourselves the Volunteers, when you first step foot up on Rocky Top, you understand our history. You understand where we got that nickname. And that's why it's an honor for me to be here. My last duty assignment in the United States Army is just right up the road at Fort Hood, Texas. And it was there that I commanded a battalion, deployed them to Iraq in 2003. Some of you know my history. You know what happened in Iraq, because I believe the most important thing for a commander is to take care of the people under your charge.
That's right.
And I see it no different in being a member of Congress or no different from being a state chairman. You take care of the folks that are under your charge.
Amen.
And so many people have asked me, hey, why aren't you running against Colin Allred up there in Dallas? Why aren't you running against John Cornyn? Let me tell you something. I've been to Washington, D.C. I know what goes on in Capitol Hill. The fight for America is in Texas. The fight for America is not in Washington, D.C. So if I win and get another title, get congressman again or get senator again, what difference does it make if when I come home to a state that is run by the other side?
Yes.
And when you,
Hear, hear.
we say that, but look at what is happening here in the state of Texas, where every single major population center is controlled by the other side.
Yep.
And understand that that has been their blueprint. It has come out of California, it is overrun Nevada, it is overrun Arizona, it is overrun Oregon, Washington, Colorado, New Mexico. They have their sights on Idaho, Montana. When you go across the Mississippi River, they flipped Virginia. Now they're looking at Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, and Georgia. But the biggest prize that they have in the whole thing is right here. 38 electoral votes. We cannot allow what happened in 2018 to happen again.
That's right.
And the most important thing I want to be able to do is we got to get our message out.
Yep.
Look around here and what do you see? There's only one person standing here with a permanent tan. You don't have a permanent tan. You have to go to a tanning booth. But so many people don't understand the history of this incredible Republican Party of Texas.
That's right.
That was founded on Independence Day of 1867 by 150 blacks.
Right.
But yet we allow them to castigate and demonize and denigrate us as racists and sexist, homophobes, xenophobes, and all of these things. We got to stand up and let people know who we are, what we stand for. We stand for liberty and freedom. We stand for individual triumph. We stand for making people victors and not victims. But for some odd reason, even here in the great state of Texas, where 1,000 people are moving pretty much for every day, they're not getting that message. Someone asked me, what's your plan? The plan is to get our message out. I've been talking to people, but how many folks here ever heard of geofencing? That's one of the critical things that we need to be doing. We need to have micro-targeting. Geofencing means that you can target to cell phones in a certain area.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they get text messages. And there's so many key things that we need to be doing. The Republican Party, in essence, has really failed. We completely disavowed the inner cities.
Yep.
A community that is truly conservative in nature, we stop paying attention to. That's the black community. And now, we got to struggle and fight with the Hispanic community. Communities that are faith-based, communities that believe in families, communities that believe in small business entrepreneurship, communities that believe in quality education. Why aren't we talking more about school choice and school vouchers in the inner cities, where so many people have been relegated to the failing public school system that those folks that y'all were sitting with earlier, that's what they stand for. We got that great opportunity. It's not about winning everybody. But let me tell you something. If we get 55 to 60% overall, that's a landslide. If we get 15 to 20% in the black community, if we get 45 to 50% in the Hispanic community, we just sunk their battleship.
That's right.
But we have to have the courage and the conviction to go in these communities and say the truth.
That's right.
Because the truth is powerful. And that's all that I want to do. Some folks have said that, we're kind of concerned because you've never been a precinct chair, you've never been a county chairman. I've never been a United States congressman. I've never been a mayor, city council, school board, county commissioner. I've never been a state house, state senate. But the thing is, when you have a passion for this country, when you have a passion for your home, it doesn't matter. Because I think the most important thing we need, we got to have principled leadership.
That's right.
In 2 years, I became the #1 target for the Democrat Party in the United States of America. In 2 years. In 2 years, I upset our own party so much that they redistricted me out of my own congressional district. Because I took an oath to a constitution. I took an oath to a set of principles and values and fundamentals that make us who we are, that make us the longest running constitutional republic that the world has ever known. And there is no beacon that shines brighter in the United States of America than the beacon that is the Lone Star State.
That's right.
And if we don't fight to keep this state, it's Katie Barr's over. They're enthused. They're energetic. As a matter of fact, I saw the Tarrant County Democrat chairman earlier today, and she came up to me. She said, "We got something for you in Tarrant County." And I looked at her and I said, "I got something for you."
Yeah.
Watch your back.
We've got to stand and fight. No more retreating, no more surrendering. And I want to make sure that we are relevant. It hurts me to the core when our party has 5 legislative priorities, and now none of them get accepted. And I've been reading a lot of the blogs of the Republicans here in Texas. You guys are a little bit discouraged. Leadership is about encouraging people to win. And that's what I want to be able to do. I will learn everything about all the precincts out there. I will figure out how we need to make sure that we have X amount of percentage. All of you people out here in these rural counties, we need 100% of your participation.
That's right.
If we don't have 100% of your participation, it makes it even tougher for us to go into Dallas County, Travis County, Harris County, El Paso County,
Bexar County.
Galveston.
I wasn't going to forget Bexar County. Any mayor that doesn't allow Chick-fil-A to be in the airport.
Thank you.
So that's it. I am who I am. I know there's been a lot of things out there about this about Allen West, this about Allen West. Just ask me. I'm easy to get a hold of. Westfortexas.com is the website. But I just want to fight. My dad served in World War II. My older brother served in Vietnam. I did 22 years of service myself. And my nephew is now serving as a major in the Army. We have skin in the game for this country. And right here is where the skin has to go and do what's necessary for us to be successful. What will our children and grandchildren say about us?
That's right.
That's the key thing I want you all to remember. That's why I'm here. I don't know why God brought me back to Texas, but I'm damn sure glad he did. And remember that one-term congressman from the state of Tennessee? When he lost his congressional re-election, he said those infamous words, "May you all go to hell. I'm going to Texas." What are your questions you have of me? This is a conversation. This is not about me giving a speech.
I have a
think
question.
It's important for you to understand a little bit about my mentality. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, you said we need to get the message out with our Republican leadership, many of them not coming back for re-election or trying. What is our message that we're supposed to get out?
Well, that's one of the things. The question is, what is the message that we're supposed to get out?
The truth.
When I was a commander, I told the soldiers in our unit, every single day you wake up, you got to know your task and purpose.
True.
And your task and purpose has to be tied into the task and purpose of me as the commander. So my responsibility is to make sure that every single week, every single one of you in every single county, and then you push it down to every single precinct, that we're all on the same sheet of music. Because have you noticed how the Democrats always say the exact same thing?
Yeah, they're all together.
Their talking points, the media says the same to every single one. We don't have that same coordinated message.
That's true.
So we need to be able to do that. You know, we need to be able to get on these college campuses. I was just talking to someone today and saying, why don't we go on college campuses and challenge these kids? Show me something that you are wearing. Show me something that you have that's not a part of the free market enterprise system.
But what is our message?
Our
You
message-
said we need to get it out, but I
Our
need to know
message-
what is
our
it?
message is a simple message in this. We are going to create victors. The other side needs victims. And when we break it down about how you make victors, you make victors through small business entrepreneurship. You make victors through quality education. You make victors through restoring the family. You make victors through making sure that we are owning up to our Judeo-Christian faith heritage. You make victors by making sure that our children can be born. That's how we break it down. Okay? And it's
Okay.
all got to be tied into that simple message. Victors or victims. That's it. How simple a choice. Nobody wants to wake up every single day and be a victim. But if that's the only message that they are hearing, because of this thing we do called outreach, which means we show up in Black History Month, or we show up in Hispanic American Month, and then people never see us again until 2 months before an election,
Yeah,
guess what? They don't know us.
that's right.
It's about engagement. It's about policy inclusiveness. That's why geofencing is so important. Someone's out at the mall, someone's at the beauty shop or barber shop or whatever, and then bling, 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 something comes up. It's our message, not theirs. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one of the things that we need to do is engage people, because both the Hispanics and the blacks are pro-family.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
They're usually
The truth.
pro-family.
You know, someone asked me earlier, how do we do this? And, you know, I said, how many of you all have an after-school reading program? An after-school reading program. You got to show people that you care. And if you show them that you care by helping out their children, then guess what? They're going to come to you. Ron DeSantis won in Florida on this one issue, school choice. On the school choice issue, nearly 100,000 black women came over and voted for Ron DeSantis. That's a powerful issue. When I was growing up in Atlanta, I grew up in inner city. We had a partnership with the White United Methodist Church. Because after church services, what do church people like to do?
Go eat.
Go eat. And when you go eat, you break down barriers. You talk about, you find your similarities, you find your commonalities. That's what we need to do. So many times we make the mistake of believing that what we know, everybody else knows. There's so many people all across this great state of Texas, so many people all across the United States of America, they don't know who Margaret Sanger is. How powerful it would be if we educate people, if we all of a sudden sent out messages, they got on their cell phones. 70 to 75% of Planned Parenthood clinics are located where?
Inner cities.
Inner cities.
They don't know that. When you drive down I-45 through Houston, you get on the south side, what do you see? That big
Planned
glass
Parenthood.
enclosed building that says what at the top?
Planned Parenthood.
Planned
Planned
Parenthood.
Parenthood. That's what we got to do. Policy inclusiveness and engagement. And that's how we win people. I'm not looking to win in everybody. When I was a commander, I didn't care for every soldier liking me. But every soldier was going to respect me. And they were going to understand their task and purpose. Right here. Should the state party chair get the salary? Okay, let me tell you this. The battalion that I commanded right there in Fort Hood, Texas, had a motto. That motto was duty, not reward. Soldiers don't get paid a whole lot of money,
That's
but
true.
we know the duty that we have to go out and do. Now, the question that I think each and every one of you all need to ask yourselves is this. This is about saving Texas. Is saving Texas a part-time hobby or is it a full-time job?
Full-time
There are 254 counties in the state of Texas. I want to get out and help you guys raise funds and be visible in each and every one of your counties.
Yeah.
Now, you make the choice. I'm going to do it anyhow, but you make the choice. But I'm going to tell you this, and I don't care if you take it back and tell whomever. I will not have a conflict of interest. I will not have a member of the SREC that is paying me and paying my expenses. I think that's a conflict of interest. Okay? So y'all figure it out. But I'm going to do what needs to be done to keep this state red. I might have to hold a car wash at my house.
We'll be there.
What's your opinion on Austin Beltway's response to the Second Amendment?
Okay. My opinion on the Second Amendment. Okay, first of all, you all know I'm a board member of the National Rifle Association. And also, a pensioner, benefactor of the PSRA. How many folks here have ever heard of Gary Willis? Gary Willis, 61 years of age, from Ferndale, Maryland. Last November of 2018, police officers knocked on the door of the home of Gary Willis at 5:17 in the morning. They had a red flag protection order. What would you do if someone is banging on your door at 5:17 in the morning?
Get my gun.
Gary Willis got his handgun, he went to the door, and was shot dead.
Oh,
To
no.
this day, no one knows the police officers that did it. No one knows where the red flag order came from. No one has even ever seen the red flag order. Jonathan Carpenter, 2 months ago in Florida, got a red flag order to turn in his firearms. Being a good, law-abiding, legal gun owner, he did exactly that. But he came to find out that it was a case of mistaken identity. There was another Jonathan Carpenter that should have been the one that was turning in his weapons. He had a domestic abuse and some other crimes against him. They still did not give Jonathan Carpenter his firearms back. He has to go to court. Sutherland Springs, Texas. The assailant there in Sutherland Springs was guilty of a felony domestic abuse charge in the United States Air Force, had been put in prison. The United States Air Force did not upload his record into the background check system. That's how he was able to get an AR-15. Folks here know who Stephen Williford is?
Yep.
Stephen Williford is the man who went out of his house with a semi-automatic rifle, AR-15, barefoot, and stopped that shooting. I don't like it when politicians say we got to do something and end up doing something reactionary that penalizes law-abiding legal gun owners. Okay? What we need to do, we deal with these things in specifics. I mean, the shooting down at Santa Fe High School, this was all about parents that really weren't paying attention to their kids. If I was a kid going out of my house in the middle of summer with a black trench coat, my dad would have stopped me and said, "Boy, what the hell are you doing?"
Exactly.
Parents got to pay attention to their kids.
That's right.
Government cannot come in and be the parent in our household. And I think that that's what they're trying to do with SB 10 and SB 11.
Yes,
Right.
that's right.
So we need to deal with these things in specific. We have too many failures in our law enforcement agencies. We don't have good coordination between our law enforcement agencies for the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. At the end of every week, there should be some type of reconciliation process where we make sure that everyone is on the same sheet of music, not stovepipe. That's how we fix this. But the most important thing, it's about family. It really is. What happened in Allen, Texas, that's about family. But also, we know that the mother reported her son.
Yeah.
And nothing's done. So, no, I'm not for these 8 proposals. I'm not for red flag laws. Or I think it's HR 838, which is called the TAPS Act, Threat Assessment Protection and Security.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this came from a Texas Republican congressman.
Can you believe that?
A joint behavioral task force, that's not the government. But again, That's where we need strong voices here in our Republican Party of Texas to tell the people that are sitting there in Austin, we're going down there. Yes, sir.
You had a question, didn't you?
Sorry?
Did he answer your question?
I didn't have it.
17 people killed by AR-15s. There has been 7,000, I think 7,300 killed with handguns. So we're going to ban the AR-15.
Well, I mean, I mean, you think about Robert Francis O'Rourke. I mean, they're focused on the tool. But really, that's how the camel gets his nose under the tent. And don't forget, one of the first things that Hugo Chavez did in Venezuela in 2011, he banned private gun ownership because he said he wanted to curtail gun violence. And see, that's another one of those messages we need to get out to say that this is the path that they want to go on. It's totalitarianism, it's tyranny.
Yes.
They cannot get us to succumb unless we are unable to defend ourselves. This country was established on the issue of gun control. April the 19th of 1775. When the British landed, they were marching to Concord, Massachusetts to destroy a weapons and armaments factory. There was no Army, there was no Navy, there was no Marine Corps, there was no America, there was no federal government. It was just citizens. They understood if they were armed, they could be citizens. If they were disarmed, they would be subjects. Very simple.
That's right.
Others.
It's another deal.
You got some questions over there?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I have not heard the bottom recordings. I have had several members of the State House, several SREC members, back brief me on the bottom recordings. And look, I was very forthright. I came out and said that he needs to resign, he needs to step down. His credibility is gone.
Yes.
I can't work with someone that has lost their integrity. You can't. And the painful thing that I hope does not happen, it comes out next year, and then we're all out there trying to explain it. So that's
Thank you for your help.
we need people at the highest levels of honor, integrity, and character, because that's how important it is. Because that's what the other side is going to go for. The other side is going to look for the weak flank, the gap that they can exploit. And we have to have people that understand it's not about them, it's not about their position, it's about the future of this state. So, yeah. How can we hold Republican leaders and members of the Republican legislature responsible for not holding up to their plan? I can be a pretty forthright guy. But the other thing is that you all need to be too. You all have to call. The precinct chairman need to call. The people in the precincts need to call and say this is what you're elected to do. And the great thing about the process is that we can unelect them. But folks got to understand, if you're saying that this is what you are going to do, this is what you stand for, then please do it. And that's the message that I will send to any elected official here in the state of Texas. Let me tell you the most important thing we have to do here. We got to develop a farm team system. We got to get more young people engaged. We got to start looking at the city council races. The most important race in the United States of America is school board. The race that has the least amount of participation is school board.
Yep.
And then we ask ourselves what is going on in our quote-unquote system of education, which has become a system of indoctrination. That's where we build out that farm team. City council and school boards. Single A, double A, triple A, major leagues. So that when you have 5 people that decide they're going to step down from being members of the United States Congress, you don't freak out. You just pick up the phone, kind of like they do in baseball. The manager picks up the phone, or he goes out there and he does this. Send me this person up. But we got to grow our talent. We don't do a good job of growing our talent. Too often we sit around and we say it's someone's turn. I want to develop the next generation of leadership. You're part of that. That's why we got to get on these college campuses. The fact that you had a group called the Autonomous Student Network that threatened young conservatives coming into the University of Texas this year, and we didn't do anything to that group. We got to back our kids that are conservative.
Yep.
Because if we don't show that we're going to back them, then they're going to lose faith. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
true.
Could you share with us what
what your vision is for the RPT?
My vision for the RPT is to number one, be relevant. Number two, be effective. And number three, get our message out to every single corner in the state of Texas. Now we're not gonna, like I said, we're not gonna win everybody. But I believe if people know who we are and know our history and know our vision, know our message, we win 55 to 60% in the state of Texas. I don't understand why people would leave a failed state and come to the state of Texas and still want to vote for the policies of a failed state. But if they're not hearing that, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Sure.
When Toyota North America moves into Plano, Texas, we need to find out where every single one of those employees live. And we need to say, welcome to Texas. Do you know why you're here? Because a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
Makes sense.
Yes, again.
Along the school board issues, you probably noticed that the schools around the country were excusing absences for kids, not for unborn babies, not for disarmed citizens, but for man-made climate change.
Yeah, look, that's what happens when you lose control of your students. Okay? It's an indoctrination center, it's not an education center. Therefore, they are pushing a certain ideological agenda. Think about it, last year, September, some people came up with the goofy idea of removing the word heroic as a reference to the defenders of the Alamo. Texas history. I think people knew that.
Yes.
See, every single one of y'all should have known that. See, that's what I'm talking about, coming back to messaging. See, when something like that comes out, it's a blast.
Yeah.
We cannot allow that to happen. And this whole thing about moving the center of the staff from the Alamo, you don't touch that.
That's right. Don't touch that. This group here, the county chairman, when we have someone file for office in our office, we have them pledge to take support all these things that are our platform, including the right to life and all of those things. But it's not happening past the county. It's not happening at the state. We adopt those platforms, nothing's happening to change the rules.
Well, I will tell you that this Sunday I will be going down through all 332. I already found some things that I don't understand why there are planks in our platform like the National Defense Authorization Act. I think we need to have a very specific platform that deals with Texas-style issues, and we need to, again, present that to our elected officials and say, are you going to honor this platform? And we got to hold them accountable too.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. So, a couple more questions, because I know everybody wants to get away and go away.
Sir, you're used to evaluating. Could you give a synopsis of your evaluation of the last year's Texas State Legislative, your results and your thoughts
Good one, Jeff.
of their results?
I think it was a failure. I just have to be honest. I mean,
That's right, it
when
was.
you look and you say that these are our legislative parties and these legislative parties didn't get passed, when you look and see that there are things that, you know, let me put it this way. If you're a Republican in the state of California, do you think that any of your legislative parties are going to get passed in the state of California?
No.
So why are we doing it here? In the military, we had a saying, okay? And this is a metaphorical thing. I know I'm being taped. This is a metaphorical thing. But we also always say, why do you kick a man when he's down? Because he's close to your foot.
It's what?
Because it's close to your foot. There's a little saying we have down south. The only thing in the middle of the road is roadkill. Folks, we got to stand up for what we say we are. And we have to be forthright about it. We have to be convicted. We can't continue to appease, acquiesce, and compromise with the other side. You never hear the other side talk about being bipartisan until they're not in the majority.
That's right.
I appreciate y'all being here. I couldn't be standing here by myself.
Appreciate the stance that you're taking on this flag wall and the Second Amendment. But nonetheless, in this crowd, it's like saying, I believe in Jesus. Everybody agrees.
And look, this is a very serious question. I was going to give a very serious answer. I'm already running against the big field. Okay? There was a certain person that had never called me in my life that in the second week of July, all of a sudden, he asked to have a phone call. His name's Carl Rove. Carl Rove was on the phone with me and was absolutely adamant and incredulous that I was considering running for the GOP party chair. And he told me I shouldn't do it. That told me all I need to know. Okay?
All the reason to do it.
I am not interested
I don't know.
in anybody's comes to my country.
Tell us how you really
Alan, I'm so glad that you're here. We talked about you being here, and I'm really thrilled that you are. But I think we need to hear from you. What is your formula to win this election? We've got to move a lot of people from where they are.
Sure.
This party needs a change like never before.
Sure.
How are you going to do that?
Well, it starts with what we're doing right now. I got to get out and I have to, deliver the message myself. I have to touch flesh. There are two types of commanders in the military. There's a commander that sits in the office and dictates, or there's a commander that's out there fighting with their troops. And if you talk to the guys that I command, they'll tell you, I was out there fighting with them. My driver, who lives in Rosenberg, Texas, was about this close to me when he got shot in the chest in a firefight. Okay? That's what I have to do. And what I have to show people is that I'm serious, I'm principled, I'm committed, and therefore we'll get the delegates. I'm not asking you all anything, but just ask me if you have a question. You make the choice yourselves. You do what you want to do in your respective counties, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I am concerned about the state of Texas, and therefore I'm concerned about the United States of America. And the oath that I took is not to a political party, it's not to any individuals, but it's to duty, honor, country. So that's what I have to do to be successful in this election, is to get out and for all of y'all to see me.
Thank you.
I know, I have one family.
A year ago,
Yeah.
this protest, we loved you. I didn't get to see you.
You didn't miss it.
Yes, I did too. Yes, I did. You got here so fast. Glad you got this.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Every single one of us through life, and that's the foundation of what we do. Contact cities.